Hey guys, Ryan Dement from TruVest. Welcome to the first episode of the relaunch of TruPodcast. I'm excited, nervous, and I'll see where it goes. I'm just putting it out there. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean, either people are going to like it or you're not going to like it. But the thing that I struggle the most with, and I thought I'd share it in the very first episode, is patience. And I bet everybody has a different definition of patience, but I wanted to share patience from a dictionary standpoint. I'm just going to read it off. It says, the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset. Holy crap. I mean, it's just all over the place. I mean, how do you tolerate patience and work with it within our lives? And that's what I wanted to share. I mean, I've not always been an entrepreneur. I worked in corporate world for many, many years. I ran call centers, everything from originations to collections. I managed, over 1,000 heads, and that's employees in a call center. And my patience through that process and growing, and I'll get into more detail, and this is the story that I'm going to share, is I was always chasing the money. I was always chasing the dollar. It didn't matter how hard I worked, how many hours I worked, I still was chasing the almighty dollar. And I missed a lot of the things along the way in life that I think we all can learn from. And then the other aspect of this patience process for me was I was always concerned about others and what they were doing and not focused on my path and where I was going. And the last piece that I'm going to talk about is a lot of people don't think about what you put out is what you get. So, guys, when I was chasing the almighty dollar, I was a lot younger, and I was trying to climb the corporate ladder. And the things that I had to do to get things done in my mind was beat everybody else out and shine like a rock star, no matter what. Um, and then once I thought I completed those things, everything would come to me in 2 seconds. And I didn't realize there was a maturation process for me as a person, not just as a manager and then becoming a leader. It also was just an individual human and how I interacted with people on a daily basis, whether I was smart or not, or knew what I was talking about, didn't count. I mean, it boils down to two things. One is being able to understand what you're looking for and what you want, and then how you're going to go get it. There's steps in that process, and that plays into the whole role of patience. And patience has just never been something I've had in my back pocket. I can't just whip it out and say, whoop, there it is, and I'm good. I always was chasing that mighty dollar. And some of the things I did to chase the almighty dollar, I'd be embarrassed of. I would step over other people just so I could actually get in front of the line. And this is at work. It's not for anything else. Just to get ahead of other people to get myself a better year-end review, to get myself a better pay raise, a better bonus, whatever it took. And until I met one of my bosses in the past, and he took me aside and he told me one thing that was just changed my life. And it'll sound stupid, but he put it on the back of my office door and it said, put brain in gear before mouth opens. And as soon as that went up, some light bulbs went off, but it took a while. But how does that relate to patience? The reason why is my mind has to be in place first to be able to understand what I'm trying to accomplish and then figure out how do I get there. And then it's not going to happen overnight. So putting the brain in gear before the mouth opens is huge, because I wouldn't be talking over people. I wouldn't be stepping over them. I would be more in a collaborative effort to be able to understand where these individuals are at in their lives and then understand how to get there through mine. So it's not just an individual journey that I was on. even though I thought that, it's more of an overall journey in how that impacts your life, my life, the ones we love, the ones we work with. But once he gave me that quote, it sat on my back of my door, and every time my door closed or every time I went home, I remembered that. And to this day, I still have that quote and I look at it on a constant basis just to refresh my memory and understand where I'm at. So this piece of my journey, the patience piece for my work, boils down to one thing: is I can't chase the almighty dollar and expect to have all the wonderful fruits of my labor in my life come out in one fell swoop. Expecting, to do 50 things that would translate into a 20% pay increase or something to that extent was just not reasonable. And for me to be able to continue to manage and run departments and call centers that way, excuse me, was just flat out wrong. And until I got that quote on the back of the door, things didn't change for me. And I'll share a little advice or an anecdote story. When I started understanding that piece, another piece came into my life too. I had a very good friend that introduced me to The Secret and started talking about what you put out is what you get. So if you're always negative, that's what you're going to get back. You're going to attract that. If you're positive, you're going to get positive back. I know it might be a hoax. People might not think the same thing that I do, and I understand that. But if I'm in a positive space or try to be in a positive space at all times, guess what? What I put out there keeps on coming back to me in a positive spin, and it just goes back and forth, back and forth. But if I'm totally negative all the time and just my life sucks and everything's bad, well, guess what? You just keep on having those bad things happen over and over again. That old saying, bad things come in threes. Well, I'm not saying that bad things don't happen, but what you put out there is a reflection of where you want to go, because what you're dealing with today is something that happened in the past and it's coming to head now. So if you don't start putting out a change today, you can't change your future. You'll continue to be on this path of negativity. And for a very long time, I struggled with that piece of myself and understanding how The Secret played in my life. But the other thing is surrounding yourself with the right people. Those people are going to be key to your success. And I know it's an old adage, but it works. Whether you're in the crapper and you're having a real bad day or a bad month or bad whatever, those people that you care about the most, that care about you, that are positive, that are going to be in your corner no matter what, when the shit hits the fan, these are the people. And those people that you're calling, and if they're not in your corner when the crap hits the fan, you have to let those people go. And that is also a part of patience. Unfortunately, some people come into our lives and they are there for a specific reason, for a specific duration of time, and then poof, they're gone. I don't know how to explain that. It happens. I fought it on many occasions and lost the battle. And all I can say is you have to kind of take with what you're given, and you've got to make something out of it. Whether you do or not, that's up to you. And that could be a whole nother segment that I do that on, is persistence. It might even be the next week's podcast. So we'll see what happens. Last but not least, guys, I know it's a short one. I'm not going too long on this first one. The one piece that I see on a daily basis, if you don't know anything about me, look me up on social media, TruVest_Ryan. You can look me up at Ryan Dement on LinkedIn. But TruVest is a real estate investment company. We work in the sustainable, affordable housing space. We also have a construction company, TruHome. And we do business in different niches and market spaces. But I spend a lot of time in the affordable housing, sustainable housing space, to where I work with families and individuals that are looking to buy homes for the first time. but they have credit challenges or they have some trust issues from the past that they don't believe they can buy a house for less than what they're paying in rent. And that's a whole nother gamut that we could go over. But the short version of this is this: if you believe that you can't do something and you continue to say you want to do it, but you don't want to put the work in, the end result is you're never going to actually get to that end result of obtaining home ownership, or you want to get promoted, or you want to go back to school and get a bachelor's degree, or you want to become a nurse or a doctor or an attorney, whatever you want to do. If you don't actually get yourself out of that rut and say that I'm going to be patient and accept change and be able to understand what I put out is what I get, nothing will happen. Instant gratification is just not something is going to manifest all these wonderful things that you want in your life. You actually have to put the work and time and effort in, you know, whether it be working extra shifts or studying extra long. If you're in a class that is just kicking your butt and taking your name, get a tutor, get help. If you're trying to buy a house and your credit is, you know, not so hot, ask for the resources out there. There's tons of free resources that are legitimate resources that can help you. But if you just keep on talking about, I'm going to do this, this, and this, but you never do anything about it, patience, persistence, whatever you want to say, it's never going to happen. You're going to stay in that same sphere that you've always been in, and you'll never get anything more out of life. And if you truly want to get something more out of life, you want to stop renting, you know, from a landlord that doesn't care about you, and you want to start creating wealth for yourself. You want to be able to go buy a new car and not go to some sled lot down the way that's going to charge you 12% interest. You got to change the way you actually look at life. And if you don't change that perspective or that lens on life, guess what? Nothing changes. And I say this often, it is what it is. I can only impact the things that I have in my control. Do I deal with a lot of crap on a daily basis like everyone else? Yes. How I handle it is probably a little different than most. Some things on a daily basis will really bring me to my knees. And the people that are close to me know what that is. I'm not sure I'm ready to share all that, but the journey that I've been on through creating TruVest, True Home, soon to be True Community, so be on the lookout for that. Plug, shameless plug, sorry. There's been days I just wanted to give up and say, okay, white flag, you got me. But I didn't. I got back up and I kept on fighting and fighting. And it's been a long road. It's been a long 3 years. And my mom asked me several weeks ago, you know, would I give up what I was doing today? And I said, no. I couldn't go back to corporate America working for the man and trying to make them happy when I'm in the pursuit of happiness for myself. And what we're doing on the TruVest side and the True Home side, I've got a great team. You know, Josh Kimmel, our general contractor, I'll put him up against anybody in the United States. He'll kick their ass. And there's just no questions about it. And I'm proud that he's our partner. I'm proud that he's my friend. We couldn't do it without him. And he's come a long way in his journey. And sorry, it's tough, but what do? It's either you get up and get going or you don't. And that's hard. So you have to decide what you're going to do, and you got to go do it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's only you that's going to make it happen. There's people that can support you and get you to where you need to go, but you've got to be able to do it. So I don't know how much more I can beat on that drum, and I'm not going to. So hope you guys like it. Sorry, I got a little emotional, but it's been a 3-year journey and I can start sharing some of that too. So we'll see how that goes. But next week, I think I've already convinced myself persistence is something I want to talk about. And it's not going to just be about me. I've got some success stories that I want to share about individuals that have beaten the odds to become first time homeowners, become entrepreneurs. They've bettered themselves over time. They've improved their health. I mean, there's a lot of different examples I can share, and I'd like to be able to have them come on and talk and so forth. So we'll figure out how to make that work. But guys, thank you for your time today. I look forward to it. Please subscribe, like, comment, give me some feedback. I'm open to it. I'm going to respond to everything I possibly can. I look forward to hearing from you guys soon. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys on the other side.